I have just recently returned from Orlando, Florida. FSANA, the Flight School of North America annual conference every spring near Orlando. And they had a great conference this year. I've attended several times this year. I had a booth. This is the second time to have a booth, and I shared a booth space next to ForeFlight, so I became friends with the ForeFlight guy down there. A great time, but this is your flight school operators, flight instructors, DPEs, and industry people from the flight training industry. Something that I'm very, very interested in. So this is my first time to stay the full time and have a booth. I wanted to display basically this data here, and I'll put it on the screen here for you, just to get the reaction of people as they walked up to the booth and wanted to see what this is all about. Basically, our NTSB over the last 10 years has investigated more than 11,000 general aviation accidents in North America. 11,000 out of that, they've given us 13 recommendations. It's surprising the number of people that walk up and are completely shocked to see that data right off the NTSB data set themselves. So that was the whole purpose of being there, is to talk to other flight instructors. I attended many of the seminars and conferences and all that kind of thing, but I had a great time. I also shot a little bit of video, and I'm going to show that to you next here. The conference is organized by a guy named Robert Rockmaker. I've known him for a long time. Good friend of mine. I had a little bit of chance to fun around with him, and I'm going to show you that video. And then I've got just a snippet of a few videos of just a few of the vendors that were there that I found very, very interesting myself, so you could get an idea of what goes on at this conference. Let's take a look at a few of these videos. Down here at the FSANA convention with the actual guy. If you've ever wondered where rocks come from, they come from a rock maker. All rocks originate with Bob the Rock. Are you Bob Rockmaker?
Dan, I am. I was born this way.
You were born this way. He's the main guy down here at FSANA, and one of the reasons I come down here, Bob and I have had a relationship for many years. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but we seem to settle out our differences most of the time, don't we?
We did, and Dan, I love the fact that you humbled yourself a little bit. You move forward. You don't lie. You don't cheat. Just keep up the good work. Do the best you can do. Be honest. Transparency always leads to success.
We're trying to get it done, but we've had a great time down here, and we've interviewed a few people and showed a few products, things like that from the FSANA convention this year. DTSB is well represented here. DTSB is the website, this data set keeping track of general aviation fatal accidents more in real time. Is it 100% accurate? Well, maybe, maybe not. And as we get new information, we update that. But I've been able to share this website and this new data set with a lot of people. I'm trying to lower the general aviation fatal accident rate.
And Dan, we appreciate you supporting the zero goal accident rate in GA, as well as the airline industry. The goal needs to be zero. More and more people are adopting a zero goal. No flight school that I know of, or that we know of, has anything but a zero goal when it comes to accidents.
We should have a goal of zero. Will we ever attain it? Well, that's a different question. But what is our goal? Absolutely, our goal is zero. And as of today, our fatal accident rate for the year 2025 is sitting at 4.002 fatals per month. We rate everything on a fatals per month basis. Right. Our website is showing it in real time. Every day it's updated to tell you what that rate is. That's a metric that we can watch and look at and see how we're doing going forward.
Super. All right. Way to go, Dan.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, down here on the convention floor with my friend Joe. This is not just your average Joe. You're the Garmin Joe, right?
The Garmin Joe.
The Garmin Joe. Offering free Garmin products to all pilots nationwide, right?
Free Garmin pilot, yeah. Well, lots of Garmin pilots out there.
No, Garmin products.
Oh, Garmin products.
Free Garmin products for all pilots. Now, can't really do free, but I will say you got a couple of hot ticket items out there in the market that I really like, and I want to show them right now.
Sure.
The G5s and the 275s, you got them on display here.
We do.
Tell me how this has kind of revolutionized taking steam gauge airplanes in general aviation and fixing them so kind of quasi-glass.
Sure. Well, we're here at the FSANA show with flight schools from all over the country, and a lot of the flight schools are still operating six-pack, original steam gauge type panel. And our dual G5 or dual GI 275 are great solutions for those legacy aircraft. Our G5 is economical. It has an AI attitude indicator and HSI. You can also have a nice reversionary mode. So, if you had a Murphy's Law situation where you lost the alternator and your ship's battery, you're having a really bad day, your dual G5s have 4-hour backup batteries, and they'll carry on, so you can land with attitude indicator and HSI. Now, if you lost the number 1 G5, it has an automatic reversionary mode. You can come down and make the HSI a second AI, so it just gives you a lot of nice redundancy. More recently, we came out with our dual GI 275. Now, the GI 275 is a modernized series of 4 different types of instruments. You can do an attitude indicator, an HSI, a engine indication system, or a multifunction display. So, and we've got examples of both of those, of all those here. This is probably our most popular configuration, the GI 275 attitude indicator with synthetic vision and HSI. The HSI, you can switch from a traditional HSI to an HSI map to add ADS-BN traffic and weather overlaid on the multifunction display. In another configuration, you can bring Sirius XM weather, FIS-B from the ADS-B ground stations, or ADS-BN traffic. You've got engine indication system that you can bring up here. Well, there's radar altimeter. It's a touchscreen EIS, so it has 4 or 6 cylinder, typically Lycoming or Continental engines. We've just added or in the process of approving a 7-cylinder EIS for this GI 275 for the Cessna 195. So that would be a 7-cylinder radial EIS. So a very, very flexible instrument there, but it's a touchscreen EIS so that you can get multiple functions, EGT, TIT, you have fuel totalizer, you can do RPM, manifold pressure, or percent power.
It's a great product, and it represents a solution out there. It's a solution for the general aviation market that doesn't want to do a complete panel upgrade.
Right.
These just kind of pop in place.
That's
pretty easy to do. I'm really a fan of these this pair of G5s. I've flown behind a lot of them here now. So your older steam gauge airplanes that have a failing attitude or a DG anyway going on, you get rid of the vacuum system.
That's right.
Just take the whole thing out, and it makes a great solution. So I'll get out of your way, and I appreciate the demo. But
yeah, you bet.
It's really a great product, and that's representing a solution for us out here in GA.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Down here on the Trade Floor Convention Floor with living legend. I know he's a living legend because he told me, Kit Darby. If you've ever heard of the old FAPA, Future Airline Pilots Association. Kit, tell me what year did you start all that stuff? And you were in Atlanta. You were helping people from what year?
Well, I got out of the service in '77, and I went to work for Braniff, and they went under. So when they went under, I went to Capitol in New York. So we're talking about 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
I bought into FAPA, and we added a lot of products and services. That lasted 4 or 5 years, and then I branched off and started my own.
Well, I remember, for me personally, thinking about piloting career and getting my first turbo experience, the name Kit Darby kept on coming around. Resume preparation, interview prep, all those kind of things. It was a Kit Darby function. You had to get in one of Kit Darby's seminars, buy the package, do the deal. You probably helped 50,000 kids get into a job, don't you think?
Yeah, we had 200,000 customers between FAPA and my other company, which was kitdarby.com. So we've had about 200,000, and the majority of those were successful.
Yeah.
They were typically candidates that were well qualified.
And you're doing a lot of consulting and that kind of thing these days. So where can people find you today?
Just myname.com, kitdarby.com. We'll get you started, whether you need pilot services or expert witness services.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for visiting Kit Darby. I can't believe it, Ronan. I don't think we've ever met, but your name has been around like for forever in the job interview world. It's been great.
Still doing it.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Down here at FSANA in Orlando, Florida, we're running a couple simulator guys. Now this is really cool. I've run into these guys before. This is Steve and Azad. And
Wayne and Azad.
Wayne. I'm sorry. We met here a couple years ago and I got to fly your simulator before, but this is a pretty cool deal. Tell me what this thing does for your flight school. Where can you put this thing? What's the purpose of this thing? What can a flight school do with this?
Right. Well, this is a proposed aviation, advanced aviation training device, an AATD. We haven't gotten the approval yet. We're new to that market, but we're really excited about it. We have panels that can be swapped out, so you can go from a G1000
right.
to hybrid with G5s
yep.
and the GPS, or analog.
So flight school can buy this, set it up, and get it ready to go, and students can start learning their advanced aircraft stuff, especially G1000 and all the things.
Right. So it's an instrument trainer as one of the primary things, and
yeah.
then also you can do commercial and ATP.
Yep. And you got this set up and ready to fly. Are you going to let me fly this thing? What?
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong. So I'm going to make a lap of this thing just to show you what this thing looks like. Very, very cool and useful tool for flight schools wanting to save a little bit of money because we're not actually burning any gas out there. And you can set the weather, whatever you want it to be. Set the panel for steam gauge or G5 or G1000. Set it to whatever you want it to be for your particular student, your particular application. So I'm an absolute fan of this concept. This saves a lot of time. It's an efficiency thing for schools. I think schools each school ought to have several of these things for their students. Would save a lot of time.
It's all about pilot safety.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to jump in this thing and take a lap. Nothing can go wrong. That's our motto.
Right.
All right, let's go. Let's see this thing. Here it is. This is the airplane. It's already set and ready to go. All I'm going to do is release the parking brake right here. You got mixture, throttle, flaps right here, and I'm on the ground in Orlando Executive. I'm just going to give a little bit of throttle and roll down the runway here. We'll see if we can put this airplane in the air and back on the ground again. All right, so we're rolling. About to cross the other runway. I assume I got clear for takeoff. We'll put the thing in the air. There we go. Now we're flying. And you can see the visual on this thing is actually pretty good. I'll lower the nose just a little bit here. The visual is actually really good on this thing. Now I want you to listen to the stall horn. This is typical Cessna stall horn. Listen to this. Hear that? That's your Cessna stall horn. I'm well below DMMS here, but as you raise the nose, you can see the ADI up here. As you raise the nose, you get the stall horn. All right, let's turn this thing around. I'm holding the video camera and flying at the same time. Let's see if we can find a piece of concrete out here. Isn't this crazy? All right, there's our runway. There's where we're going, right there. And in order to do it, we're going to pull the nose up. I'm going to try to do all this one-handed here.
Help if I help?
No, it's okay. I got it. I'm still flying with the left hand here. I'll give it a little bit of trim here. The trim wheel works real good. Throttle, mixture, flaps are right here. I'm just going to pull the nose up, trim it up, pull some power back, and bring this thing around. And now I'm going to just dump some flaps in here and see if I can put this thing back on the ground. There's my runway right there. Don't try this at home. I'll add some carburetor heat, see if I can get it for a few more RPM here. There you go. It's coming down. I'm right on 77, which might be a knot or two low here. Looking good. There you go. Coming on down. This is an unstable approach, but you can teach all your stuff in here for your new students. Don't grade my landing here. Boom, boom, boom. All right.
think we're there.
We smoked some tires and landed along. These are the things that you can do in a simulator that you can't do in the real airplane. But all the concepts that you want to get across here, stabilized approach, all your procedures, everything that you need to do here, you can actually use the Cessna checklist, do everything exactly like you're supposed to do. It's got flaps, mixture power, carburetor heat, G1000, perfectly functional, complete panel, and the screen shows you exactly where you're at. Very, very nice for instrument training and visual training. Down here in the trade show floor with my friend Ryan Bolander, ForeFlight. Hi. If you've ever flown in an airplane with an iPad that's got ForeFlight, this is the guy that designed it and thought it all up, right?
No.
No.
Not at all. I wouldn't ever claim that, but we're super appreciative of our founders and the developers who created an amazing, probably Hall of Fame type of aviation product.
I'll have to tell you, it totally changed aviation. I do a lot of aviation data, trying to figure out what's causing people to fly inadvertent IMC. I think ForeFlight has specifically put a dent into inadvertent IMC. People better flight planning, better knowledge, what's the weather, what's the trend, where should I go, and the go, no-go decision. I attribute a good chunk of that to ForeFlight and that technology, and we appreciate that. Tell me what you're doing at the show here. You got a couple products that are coming out. Now, you're the flight school guy, but the products that are coming out has to do with dispatch and buying bulk ForeFlight subscriptions for flight schools. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So we've always had the EFB where students and CFIs could purchase ForeFlight on their own. But now we have the ability of a school, such as Embry-Riddle or United Aviate, to purchase licenses in bulk and then give them to their students. So it becomes a standardized EFB at the school. And with that, they can push out their flight school documents, their aircraft profiles, Jeppesen charts, and it creates a standardized feature for having everybody using the same EFB at the school.
Yeah, it makes the whole thing completely standardized. Then all students are essentially, they're running off the same sheet of music. Everybody's got the same thing.
Yes.
It makes it totally good. Well, it's a fantastic product. As a 40-year CFI, I've seen the evolution in these things, how these things have happened. But I'll tell you firsthand, from flying corporate and being a CFI, ForeFlight has changed the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. And it's an honor to work for them. And I'm a pilot also. I fly with it myself. And we're just going to make it better and better. Because we're pilots also. Our developers are pilots. And so we want to get the best tech in the aircraft to make everybody, as you said, safer and make flying more fun.
Absolutely. Well, I highly endorse it. I'm not doing that because you gave me 10 subscriptions for free, right?
Right. You could have 10 keychains or all the pins you want.
Ballpoint pens. No, it's a great product, right? And I appreciate you taking the time to say hi.
My pleasure.
People are very interested in ForeFlight and this product. It truly is a magical thing, and I highly encourage, especially your lower time student and private pilots, not to get addicted to it, but to use the tool for flight planning and making better decisions up front.
You got it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is pretty cool down here on the floor with Darren Nito. Aaron. That's what I said. Aaron. Tell me what you got here. This is, I'm kind of interested in this. This is the diesel engines for general aviation airplanes, and you've got a product. Tell me about your product.
Okay, so yeah, what you have here is our 180 horsepower two-stroke certified on Jet A. It is all mechanical. So real quick with the two-stroke side of things, it's piston ported, so there are no valves, nothing like that to go in this. It's a dry sump oil system, which is nice, which means that you can go in any direction. You see it right now in its configuration in the A, but it can go in a V. You can do anything that you need to do, counter-rotating, which is really good for us. Like I said, it's all mechanical, so there's no FADEC system like that. If you go around to this side, I can show you. The special thing with us is that we have direct injection, which is nice because a lot of diesels, you're used to that common rail system, and that's not how ours works. So if you were to lose, let's just say one of these pumps, the engine could still run on the 3 cylinders, so it's not like you're losing your fuel right away. It's supercharged and turbocharged, which is nice, the redundancy. If you lose one, the other one can kind of pick up. Superchargers do a little more at the bottom end, turbos at the higher end. So performance, a lot of people ask if you have that lag in there, and there is no lag like that. You have instant power all the time.
It's spectacular, and you're getting ready to put this in a Piper Seminole for the general aviation flight training world. To put this engine in Seminoles, it'll be a full feathering three-bladed prop on a Seminole where you can put this in use in a flight school. Tell me who's providing you an airframe, a brand new airframe next.
After Piper?
Yeah, no, Piper. The Piper.
Oh yeah, Piper. Something. Yeah, they're supplying us with an airframe at the end of this month, and that we'll start working on the package for that.
Yeah. So we're talking about a brand new Piper airframe that's never been flown before. They're going to put a pair of these Delta Hawk diesels in it. Go out and test it. Could this be the next multi-engine answer to multi-engine flight training? The power plant problem has been a huge problem, just because of all the things associated with your normal four-stroke piston engines. But having a diesel option on a brand new airplane is really exciting. Here's the other question: where else could this power plant go?
So a big one that everyone is asking us is the 172, 182. Those are the airframes that I think we get the most. Currently, we're working on an RV-14. You'll be seeing that one at Oshkosh this year. And right now, we're working with other OEMs. We're trying to work with other OEMs to get in other stuff. Our main test bed is our SR20 or Cirrus.
Yeah.
So I mean, options are endless for us.
And you got one of these engines out there flying around right now in a Cirrus SR20 with good results. Specific fuel consumption looks great. It's 180 horse. It's much more efficient. It's burning diesel fuel, which we don't have the 100 low-lead supply problem going forward with this thing. So I'm kind of excited about this, to see this thing go forward. I think you've actually, if you could build this power plant that would solve the 180 horse niche, you'd rule the world on this thing.
Yeah, and the nice thing too, just real quick, so we have our 180, we have our 200 and our 235. The nice thing is it's the same footprint, it's the same package, it's the same engine.
Yeah.
You just tweak some things, add a little more boost to get more horsepower out of it. So when you talk about weight and everything,
Yeah.
it's the same weight and you get that more horsepower out of it. So when you talk about weight and all that, you're getting more horsepower for the
Yeah.
same weight.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Awesome. Roughly a 2,000-hour TBO, but even that has not been set in stone yet. Might be an on-condition situation.
That is what
with,
we are hoping for.
a non-conditioned TBO for the flight schools would be an amazing gift. If you could pull that off, I'd say you're off to the races, young man. That's pretty exciting. I'm glad to run into you here and see the product here firsthand. This is pretty cool. You don't get to see these up close very often, but I want to fly the Seminole when you get that thing put in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we do ask people to go on the website and vote for an airframe that they want to see it in, because we use that information to go to these OEMs and be like, hey, look, this is what people want to see, and with the help of everyone that votes, we use that information.
Yep,
So.
perfect. Well, thank you for taking just a minute. A lot of people interested in the power plant situation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So there you have it. That was my whirlwind view of the FSANA conference down in Orlando, Florida. Just a few of the exhibitors. They had quite a few and a very, very good turnout. Check the FSANA website for the conference for 2026, which will be appearing pretty soon, so you can register and get information on how to attend that if you're a flight school operator, a CFI, a DPE, in any way connected with the flight school industry.